That surgery for a third of the price. It sounds like a great deal, but experts say it can be dangerous and even deadly. Now, 5 on Your Side investigates going under the knife on the cheap. How bad were those scars?
Bad. They were bad.
All her life, Amy Buckner dreamed of being a fashion model. But one day, a car accident changed everything.
I hated what I saw in the mirror.
And plastic surgery was out of her financial reach until she found a solution on, of all places, Facebook.
I heard about a woman who had plastic surgery and came back with a beautiful body, a beautiful face.
Came back from a place in the Caribbean where the cost for surgery was a third of the prices in the U.S. She says it seemed like a dream, but the reality became this.
I want him shut down. I want that entire clinic to be stopped.
It's called plastic surgery tourism. Patients from first world countries flying to second or even third world health facilities for plastic surgery they couldn't otherwise afford. In fact, it's become a major industry in the Dominican Republic, or DR, where a third of patients are from the U.S. or another country. But 5 on Your Side investigates what seems like a bargain could come at a heavy price: your health.
It was a beautiful facility. There was leather couches, amazing, beautiful pictures on the wall.
Amy had just arrived in the city of Santo Domingo at the clinic of Dr.Cabral, who over the phone and without seeing her had agreed to do an eye lift, liposuction, and adding fat to her face and even buttocks, all for a mere $4,800. But on surgery day, Amy says she started to wonder if she'd made a mistake.
While I waited, 6 other women went before me.
Until finally, they called her name, and she went in.
I woke up in a room with no air conditioning.
Right away, Amy says she felt very sick, so she flew back to the U.S. for medical help, where she eventually discovered the results of her surgery.
My entire abdomen is completely demolished.
But some say things could have been worse.
I still don't believe this has really happened.
Diane Shields is talking about her daughter, Rasheen. She, too, traveled to Cabral's clinic with her husband, Miguel, by her side. She went into the operating room for a tummy tuck and 2 other procedures. But
the guy they sent to get me, I was asking him if everything went okay.
She didn't come out alive.
He wouldn't answer me. He told me that I have to speak to Dr. Cabral, that he's going to explain everything to me.
Rasheen died, leaving 5 children behind. She was only 38. Days later, Rasheen was returned home to the United States.
Finally, my daughter came out, and she was in a box, a wooden box.
And the worst part?
If he hadn't been in jail, my daughter would be alive.
That's because in 2011, the state of New York arrested Hector Cabral in the States and charged him with multiple felony counts of practicing medicine in the U.S. without a license. The New York Attorney General said Cabral gave consultations to women in nail and beauty salons and, quote, lured unsuspecting patients with bargain prices, putting his own greed before the health and safety of his victims. But instead of sending Cabral to prison, prosecutors struck a plea deal with him that included a fine and community service to be done in his own country, where he returned to continue doing surgeries. And as for Amy? So what was your first reaction when you saw Amy's torso today?
I felt sorry for her.
We had the president of the St. Louis Association of Plastic Surgeons examine her.
My suspicion is that the scar extends from the skin all the way down to the muscle underneath.
He's Washington University practitioner Dr. Terry McCadden.
I think that she had a really bad experience, and the reality is I think it's going to be a very difficult problem to fix.
A problem, says Dr. McCadden, caused by doing her liposuction too aggressively and too close to the skin. Is there any way that the results of her liposuction on her torso are acceptable?
Assuming healthy person, I would say no.
So we called Dr. Cabral in the Dominican Republic to get his side of the story. And wouldn't you know?
I'm doing surgery now. Can you only call me in 2 hours or write by email? I'm doing surgery now.
Can you do it? Okay, can you answer a few questions right now?
No, I'm doing surgery now.
You're answering the phone during surgery? Suddenly the phone was handed off to an assistant who told us to call back in 2 hours. But when we called again, Cabral told us to call him in an hour. And despite more calls and emailing, that was the last we heard from Dr. Hector Cabral. In the end, doctors say Amy will have some scarring for the rest of her life. But Amy considers herself blessed.
I'm so thankful to be alive. I am beyond words to be able to sit here right now and tell you my story and to try to save one other person from going through what I went through.
If you want plastic surgery, experts recommend you check out a doctor's training, qualifications, and specialty. And to help you with that, we posted some resources on our website. Just go to ksuk.com and look for this story. Temperature